great. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I would do a talk, no one had heard about it. And I am so happy to get the word out because I think it's a very important service and one that I'm really, really proud to be a part of. Let's talk about daily money management. Again, I'm Barbara Bosted, Mary's daughter, and the reason for me being here is my mom, Mary Hyatt, who passed away in 2014, and she was 93. And she needed some services. My sister was her primary caregiver. So a lot of you work with caregivers, and a lot of you are and provide that kind of care, the hands-on. That is not my forte. I can tell you now. When I was helping with my sister, when she went on vacation or went away every once in a while, great once in a while, I would be there to help, and I was definitely second string. My mother said, you don't do it like your sister. You're pulling too hard. You're not doing it soft. Come on, be more. And I realized this is not my thing, but I'm doing it because it's my mom, and we do it for our mom. We do it for our families. But I realized what I am good at. I'm a clinical social worker for 40 years. I am good at advocacy. I'm good at organization. I'm good at getting things done with professionals, being a liaison, and paying bills, which many social workers don't like to do. I love bill pay. I've always loved getting my finances in order, and if I had no money, I love figuring out what to do with that little money that I had. I'm very frugal. And so one of the things is, since I realized I did that well, that I could help my sister support her caregiving, because she was working full-time. Her name is Bunny, and I could help her by she was in Rockford, and my mom lived with her. I could help by taking care of those phone calls, those creditors, advocating for her with the medical bills. And I realized I could start a business like that. And in 2011, I did. I was still working at Journey Mental Health Center, but I thought when I retire at some point, many, many years later, I thought I would like to be doing this for other people, because my mom said, who does this? And I said, I don't know. She said, you ought to start doing it for seniors like me, and also for veterans, because your brother needs some help too. So I started working with veterans as well. But she's the reason for me doing this. What I did was, I started a business called Advocacy and Consultation, and I was a geriatric care manager at the time. Now they're aging life care professionals. And Nancy, you got that down. Right. I looked around and tried to figure out who would just pay the bills. I don't want to do the assessments. I'll leave that to Nancy. I don't want to do all the other work that you do. But I do like the bill paying and helping seniors and veterans stay in their homes or wherever they're living and be as independent as possible if I can manage to make sure the bills are paid. So I found out that, there's a group called American Association of Daily Money Managers, and this is what they do. We bring clarity and order to managing personal or business bills, budgets, and records. And I'll get through this kind of quickly here. And ADAM, American Association of Daily Money Managers, I'm now on the board of ADAM after 7 years. I asked so many questions. I got so much information that they said, Barbara, we need to have you on the board. Because you are so energetic, you're so passionate about this, and I am. I've seen so many people get scammed. And Debbie and I, we talked about this. It's just a really difficult situation to see people who could ordinarily stay in their homes get scammed out of their money so they could not remain in their homes. They don't have any money to pay their mortgage or to pay wherever their utilities because someone's taken their money. So I got really excited about it, and I'm a member of ADAM and on the board now. So if people are interested in becoming daily money managers, talk to me. I would love to have you. And these daily money managers, people say, well, what do you have to be? Or, and we come from all kinds of professions, including people who are caregivers for family and friends who say, well, I'm actually pretty good at this. I can maybe do this as a business. And I love talking to people about establishing themselves as a daily money manager in a business, because that way you get the credentialing in terms of your insurance. We aren't a regulated industry, but we do have ethics and code, standards of practice. And so we abide by those. We sign paperwork to say that we abide by those, and that's what's really important. But as a social worker, I'm a member. Professional organizers oftentimes are daily money managers, bookkeepers, CPAs, accountants, and financial industry experts. We have a lot of MBAs who don't want to do the other stuff that they were doing with, corporate level. They like working with individuals or small businesses. And so they do a really nice, business with working with that group, because I like the hands-on touch, that they have. Who are our clients? I work with seniors, and they're adult children, I also work with veterans, to military personnel. But basically, daily money managers can work with anyone who has money to manage. Anyone. Frequent travelers and young people learning to manage money who say, just take care of it. They don't want to learn about it, they don't want the budgeting stuff, they just say, take care of it. And my big thing right now is financial education. So I'm working with people to learn about their money and not just assume someone else should take care of it. I try to work with anyone and everyone who wants me to work with them, and I encourage them to work with me. And even those with dementia, because I work a lot with Alzheimer's clients, if they can have the envelopes, stuff the envelopes, if they can talk with me about the bills they don't want to pay, and I explain to them why they need to pay. We have that conversation, so it's not just me sitting in a corner, doing the bills. It's me trying to engage and interact with my clients, and I really love that. But yeah, these are all people going through life transitions, death, divorce. I have a lot of clients who they didn't manage the money, so their spouse died or their partner died, and they have no clue, and there's just stuff. And so I help with them doing that. So our services, these are just a bit of our services here, but a lot of people know me because I pay bills and I organize finances and medical paperwork. Phone call assistance, because some clients are scared to make the phone call. I need to talk to Charter, or Spectrum, whatever. I need to call, but that phone tree is very scary. And so I'm there to kind of work with them through that. We get their bank balances, but I'm there. Many people daily money managers work remotely. I choose not to. I like to see my clients, seniors. Things can change from week to week, and I want to make sure that I know what's going on. I may see that their medications are not taking because it's just, their medication, their pill box is just full, so I will let their person who's responsible for them know about that. So that's kind of the thing I like to do. But fiduciary, I have been a trustee, very limited, for someone who had no one else. People ask me to be a power of attorney. I choose not to because I feel like that's a conflict of interest, but I will do it on a limited basis if there's a need and there's no one else. I just started to open up a little bit because some people have no one, and they'll get a neighbor they don't know very well and say, just sign them up, and that's not okay. That's not okay. So anyway, these are the kind of, and I gave you a little handout which has these same slides, so I'll get right through here. These are some of the things I do right off. I look at, the records, the contacts, and then I make a binder. What you got? Okay. I was gonna say, are you laughing about this important stuff?
No.
But that's something my clients do. They go, huh? I don't know where my records are. I don't know where my social security card is. I'm 98 years old. What do you mean? I don't need it. So who has it? I have no idea. Estate documents. Who's your beneficiary? I don't know. Who's listed on your will? I don't know. And usually what I find is the person that's listed in their documents is someone that passed away a long time ago. So I get those updated. So I work a lot with other professionals. Estate plans and insurance. Sometimes the insurance has lapsed and they don't know, and they find out when they're trying to be transferred to assisted living and realize that, oh, I don't have that. I thought I was going to use that. So I'm able to help with finding out more about that. And this is pretty much, for me, why I do this. Fraud, exploitation, and financial exploitation. I'm with the FAST team, Financial Abuse Specialist team, to talk about these kind of cases that come in and figure out what we can do to stop that. It's really, really important. And so, uncashed checks, so if you're seeing with your clients, you see, oh, what? I see cash checks that are around, piled up mail, because that's something that you see and you say, well, someone's going to get to it. Maybe no one is around to get to it, and they don't even realize they haven't opened it. Mounting credit card debts, multiple subscriptions. That's a real red flag. When you start seeing magazines piling up and you see the subscription expiration date being like 2026, they may have been inadvertently signing up for the same magazine over and over again, and they don't realize that. And so I would stop that. Oh, I come in and I stop a lot of stuff when I meet with my clients. Lottery tickets, sweepstakes. A lot of times with some clients and the calls from creditors, I come in and the mail, since I handle the mail, and so it's like I have a shredder or my bag for shredding, and I'm going, this is for you, and this is for the shredder, this is for you, and this is for the shredder. And when I have clients that say, no, I want all my mail, and I know that as soon as I leave, they'll be trying to write checks for that lottery. Right. They'll be trying to. So I just manage to get their mail, look at it, and Now this is what you keep today. So there's a part of it that I really want to respect their independence, but I also understand that with dementia, with cognitive impairment, there's going to be some things that they are more vulnerable to, which is scam and being defrauded. So I try to watch out for that. And then that's it. I want to have some time for questions if you have that, and let you know that, and this is my contact information. And what I do with clients is if I get a call or an email, I set up a time. We have a phone consultation if they want, because some people don't want me in their homes. They want to just take it slow at first. And we have a phone consultation. And then I like, because I'm a visual person, I want to have an in-person consultation that I don't charge for. My rates are about $85 an hour. If you're a professional referral, they're $75. And then I work with people around. That first consultation doesn't cost, so that sometimes it may be 1 or 2 sessions, because their adult child may want to meet with me, and I want to know who I'm working with. So I'd rather just spend a couple of hours. That first hour can be a couple of hours for me to get to know who I'm working with. And then once I do that, I'm able to start billing based on what the needs are. And that's kind of what I do. So, any questions?
Oh, I just want to make a comment that I was able to see Barbara in action yesterday, and I thought it was really helpful to have you there to kind of review things you've already reviewed with her, being with real estate related, because contracts are just so confusing, and remembering what she signed. And I thought it was really impressive that you cut to the chase. Like you didn't sugarcoat anything. You just were like, here's what happened, and just I thought it was really great how you helped her through these documents are just insane sometimes.
Yeah.
To navigate, which is 95-year-old lady, you know what I mean? So it's like, so you did a great job.
Oh, well, thank you.
It was great.
And so did you. She came in and did a wonderful job of, hopefully you'll help this client. She needs you really bad. But yeah, some of my clients, I do sugarcoat some things because they can't handle, like, and I really work with, yeah, your husband is deceased. Well, no, he isn't. So I work with that. Okay, well, let's talk about something else than what we need to do today. He's not here, he's unavailable, is the terminology I might use. He's unavailable today, so let's work on these bills. Oh, okay. And that's, again, I'm a social worker, retired 40-something years, so for the social workers in the room, we get it, But it feels like I'm actually able to do a service that I so enjoy that wasn't the social work stuff I did before. I'm informed by my social work background. This is a passion for me and a mission for me, and I love doing it, but it's great to be able to say, well, I need to? Yeah, this is what you gotta do. I know you think that the upstairs was included, but it wasn't. You signed a contract, and so this is what it is. Oh, it is? Mm-hmm. And we move on. So that's what I love to do. Yes.
So how did that particular client find you? What was the network referral, or how did she know about you?
Actually, her CPA. I've been making visits to CPAs and realtors and state attorneys for the last 7 years. Renee, I know you from one of the groups we were at, right? And so part of it has just been my networking and getting out there in the community, and people, now it's word of mouth. It's really kind of cool when a family says, I've worked with Barbara, you give her a call. And that feels really good. But yeah, CPA called another Jill Kubik, and some of you may know Jill, who couldn't take the client, and so I was brought in. Jill and Judy Fowler and I are all daily money managers, and so yeah, we were able to, and then he says, well, Jill wasn't available, but can you take this in? And I did. So that's how. And Oakwood Village, I'm a provider for sale, sharing active independent lives. So I get calls from sale quite a bit. The Alzheimer's and research, I'm a research participant with the Alzheimer's group, and I do some speaking for them. So yes, that's how people get to know me. Yes.
Service area. What service area?
Veterans that I work with?
No, I mean like geographic.
Oh, I'm sorry, the surface area. Yeah, I'm Dane County, primarily Madison on the west side, because Judy Fowler really takes a lot on the east side, and we try to work together, although we find that but we work so collaboratively, and that's, I guess, what I want to share with you, that if something doesn't work well with me, like Judy has a good background in business. Mine is in social work. She does not want to work with people who are hoarding and have emotional problems. that's just my cup of tea. I'll work with you, you know. I'll bring in my Claire, and I'll bring in maybe some other people, and Mary Ann, and then we'll get down to getting the financial things done. But yeah, I don't go too much because I do in person. I stay pretty much on the west side, and I'll go out if I need to. I've been to Stoughton, Oregon, and some other places. Yeah.
And if I sent you a distance, do you charge travel time, or how do you do that?
I just build, as part of my billing, I would just include that, yes.
So she mentioned a national network that she and I are a part of, and it's not unusual at all for me to get a call. I'm a solo practitioner, but some of the people out there have these huge, you know, they have huge businesses. I definitely choose to be a solo, but anyway, I'll get the call and say, well, do you have staff that will do what you do? So I would not hesitate at all to make that connection. And the other thing is, just recently, I had a client who was, I didn't want to be doing her finances. No one was doing her finances, and I had brought in, you know, an attendant care. I need to make sure they got paid.
Yeah.
But then she and I hit a wall, and, you know, I'm like, well, you know, thank goodness the sun kicked in, you know,
Yeah.
activating, or, you know, being involved. But if he had not, I definitely would have brought someone like you in, because I'm a nurse, case manager, and I couldn't do my work if my client was gonna fight me every time she saw me about, you know, finances.
Yeah. I mean, that's a beauty, that I can take that stress off of
Yeah.
other professionals, and I'll say, I'll make sure you get paid. You know, if the person doesn't have the finances, I'll know that very quickly. And I'll say, maybe you can't afford to have me, even if it's a $150 a month. You know, my minimum is two hours a month. And so most people can afford that when I take off the cable penalty, the bank penalties, the stuff, the extra charges, and reduce their cable bill. They actually can afford me with no problem if they have an income. But a lot of times, no, we can't afford to pay you. And then I see that they have all this $800, $1,200, $1,300 at the end of the year with the bank fees because of, you know, they forgot to write checks, they forgot to take care of certain things added up. So yes. I let them know that, you know, and I do brag about it. With my clients, I have a lot of fun, as you can probably tell. And I'll say, now this was your bill from your statement from last year, 2017. And this is what, after working with me from this year, 2018. You see a difference here? Big fat zero for no penalties, no charges, no fees. And I feel good about that, and they can feel good about that. And then I say, do you think it was worth it to have me? And I said, yeah. Why don't you write me a testimonial?
Yeah.
Anyway, so thank you again. Yes.
One of the biggest challenges that we see in in-home care is long-term care insurance.
Yes.
And you work with that, specifically, people don't have to be licensed, but we get the calls of people don't understand their elimination period, they don't understand some of the basics of, so they're calling us and going through, and we're having to sit down with them, figure out what their policy is, or they find out they bought their policy in 1983, it doesn't cover care,
yes.
and so they don't have a financial advisor or an insurance agent to be able to be that advocate. So is that something that you would do? Because that would take a burden off of us to be able to have.
If they're open to it, sometimes people don't want to pay to have that. If they can get the service for people that are already working with them, they will try to do that. But that is definitely something we do. And I think, Debbie, you do that as well. So that if it was a complicated case, I wouldn't want to have them spend money, you know, for me to try to figure that out. I would take it to someone who was doing that on a regular basis, and had more staff to do it. Yeah.
Isn't there, I was just reading recently something about the financial exploitation just here in Dane County.
Yes.
And the increase of, I don't know, about 11% or so from my recollection. And so, I mean, obviously that goes hand in hand with more people living longer, obviously, but that's a pretty high percentage.
Yeah, I mean, we are some very trusting folks here in the Midwest and Wisconsin. I mean, people will say, well, they said I needed to pay this and that you needed to get a Walmart card to do it, or a CVS card to do it, because they wouldn't, I mean, and they will go into it, and yes.
My sister, she's younger than me, she had that call. Somebody like locked up her computer, and so you have to call this number, and she's like, well, I need to use my computer, I'm gonna call the number.
Yes.
And they wanted her and her husband to go get Google Play cards. They need $800 for the Google Play cards, and she's like, well, I need my computer, so she called me, and I said, hey, Mom, it's a scam.
Right.
But he had her sucked in. I mean, she was in her car to go get Google Play card, like, stop it, Kim, go in the house and hang up on this guy, he's a.
But
Yeah,
How
but
did she
that's-
unlock her computer then?
somehow they got in her, then she just called Microsoft.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Microsoft said, yeah, they did do something to your computer,
Okay.
and we will help you do it, it only costs some $100
Virus in
versus.
your computer.
But I mean, she's only 50.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're only
No,
scamming and
no.
targeting old people, she's only
Yeah, and it happened to us a year ago, and